They want to improve the leg size. And who thought in 15 weeks he would improve his leg size? Who's really done that, Phil, in that time?
That short period of time? I can't say I've seen it.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with this hilarious video of the reigning Miss Olympia Samson Dauda trying out a tank top that was just too small for him.
Show me.
So Samson Dauda is currently on tour in Brazil, where he had lunch with Brazil's own best, the biggest superstar from Brazil, and his former rival, and also his friend, Rafael, who right now is trying to fix his digestion problem. Now, Samson Dauda is absolutely a freak of nature. Since the Arnold, this is the first time he's touching any weights. He just hasn't been following any diet. It has been more than 2 weeks now. And the thing is, that is exactly what he always does. He steps away from everything. He gives himself a break from literally everything. The diet, the gym, the PEDs. Everything that is connected to being a great professional bodybuilder. And you can still notice those feathers in his triceps. And not to mention the size that he is currently carrying. That is also so damn impressive. And Samson Dauda is probably one of the only few bodybuilders out there who can maintain that 300 pounds look, and that too very easily all year round. So this was a much needed break for Samson Dauda, and we have seen him improve, get better and better with every passing year, and he attributes all the improvements that he has been able to make over the years to this off time, where he lets his body relax and fully recover and 100% detox. So this time, Samson is taking 10 weeks before he has to start firing all the cylinders again. So the Olympia is gonna be in October, and Samson is gonna start this off season at the end of April or by the start of May. Now he has a great advantage in a sense that he just doesn't need any more size. He just needs to come in sharper, bring more detail, more conditioning, and especially on both the days, at the prejudging as well as at the finals. And the biggest reason he lost to Derek, that was probably the timing issue. They just could not nail it for the prejudging this time around. So Hostile just dropped some Sherpa-lined zip-up hoodies and forced hooded jackets. So do check them out and use the code Fazi10 to get 10% extra discount. Next up, we have an update from the Persian Wolf, Hadi Choopan. So there is a unique love of Hadi and crazy heavy strokes, as he often does that. In fact, for those of you guys who do not know, he actually broke the record of the heaviest stroke done by a professional bodybuilder like a couple of weeks back. And the craziest thing was, he did that exercise at the end of his shoulders workout. So the years and years of heavy training, that is what made Hadi Choopan so damn unique. His density and the maturity that still exceeds any other guy in the entire men's open class right now. And genetics does play a major role in displaying that crazy amount of density and muscularity on the stage. The people always attribute that quality of Hadi Choopan to his lifting style. And Hadi has been lifting like this even when he was an amateur. So this Open Olympia, that is gonna be the one to remember for ages, especially after what happened at this past Arnold. And you better believe that Hadi Choopan did not miss out on that $500,000 for nothing. He's gonna be so fired up to reclaim that throne. And with him focusing on just one show for the entire 2025, the Olympia in October, the chances are that he's gonna peak 100% for that show. Now Hadi Choopan has been very consistent over the years, but the judges are always gonna compare him to his past Arnold 2024 look. I believe that physique, that would still give any guy, including Derek and Samson Dauda, a very serious run for their money. In fact, that is gonna be very hard to beat. And the biggest mistake that Hadi Choopan can make at this point is trying to get too big, and in doing that, compromise his waistline.
Third a few years ago and arguably possibly could have won it in 2023 and 2024 if all things considered.
We won't talk about 2023.
No, I'm saying, but you could have been in the running to win it, is what I'm saying.
So did Guy Sessanino just said that the mutant Nick Walker, he could have arguably won the Olympia last year. I'm gonna say, how biased can you be towards your friend that you go on disrespecting the guys who actually showed up at the Olympia stage that year, especially Samson Dauda, who brought his all-time best to win the Olympia last year. Even Nick Walker himself corrected Guy over that bizarre statement because he knew he was nowhere close to even looking like himself at 8 weeks out of the Olympia last year. And for whatever reason that was, whether it was his coach or was it actually that scenario that his body just wasn't responding. Now Guy did went on to clarify his statement. Well, let's make all these assumptions after Nick competes against Hadi, Derek and Samson, and that is most probably gonna happen at the Olympia this year. So Nick Walker is 100% logged in for this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. And now that we are under 8 weeks out of that show, we are gonna see some swift changes in his physique. So will Nick Walker be able to improve his quad sweep? Because that has been the biggest knock on his physique. Well, the judges did say that his legs looked better at the New York Pro last year, but at the same time, he has to bring a tighter midsection, a tighter waistline. Now, if he can bring back that Arnold 2021 shape, he's gonna be very hard to beat, including by a guy like Martin. And that is what Nick Walker is aiming to bring. So his aim is to bring that same symmetry that he had back in 2021, just a lot bigger than that. So this will certainly be the biggest version of Nick Walker to ever step on any bodybuilding stage. And I believe that is going to be fun to watch. Next up, we have an update from your reigning Arnold champion Derek Lunsford. Just the fact that Derek was training abs in one of his very first workouts after the show, when he just won the second biggest bodybuilding show of the year, and also $500,000. That shows an insane amount of dedication and the sheer determination to improve that 1 week body part. And glad to see that some of the greatest Miss Olympia champions like Jay Cutler and Phil Heath, they are giving Derek the props. Because what he did, that was kind of unthinkable. And he 100% deserves all the respect.
They want to improve the leg size. And who thought in 15 weeks he would improve his leg size? Who's really done that, Phil, in that
short period of time? I can't say I've seen it. But I think kudos to Chris. You know, he's been able to figure out the right game plan, brought him in bigger, and I'd say just as hard.
Now, I am sure many of us listened to so many of these podcasts, so many predictions that were being made leading into this year's Arnold. And there was one factor, one constant, in 99.9% of all the discussions, that Samson Dauda is going to be the winner. Because we all thought Derek will be improved a lot. But the question was, improved to what degree? And no one thought that he's gonna come in this improved. No one saw that coming. And this is what Jay and Phil Heath pointed out, how Derek's entire physique, the entire flow of it just totally changed, with his quads coming up. And the conditioning was also at its all-time best. So this Arnold classic look of Derek, that will probably go down in the history, where you can just tell that he nailed everything to 100%. He brought everything that his physique had. Now obviously he would like to have more quad sweep, especially for the Olympia this year, because that is something that would accentuate his X-frame a lot more. But his Arnold debut, that turned out to be a lot more impressive than everyone perceived. And I have got to say, man, this is gonna be an awesome Olympia. And it's gonna be literally impossible to predict. Next up, we have an update from Andrew Jacked. So he has been pushing some real heavyweights just 2 weeks after he competed at the Arnold. So could there be a possibility that Andrew is gonna compete in the upcoming shows, like the Arnold Brazil or maybe Fibo Germany, or who knows, the Pittsburgh Pro? Well, that certainly is gonna be a great strategy if Andrew wants to get his Olympia qualification early and just shut the season down for the rest of the year to solely focus on making some improvements, some size improvements for the Olympia this year in the areas like his hamstrings and also his lower back, because his legs from the back, they also need more detail and more separation. Because as great as Andrew looked at this past Arnold, he was clear cut in 3rd place behind Samson and Derek, and not even a single judge. They thought that it was close between him and Samson. So maybe Andrew does need another long off season, just like he did last year when he came to Texas Pro. and he just shocked the entire bodybuilding world with his insane improvements. Because based on what he has now, and where the judges have been placing him, it seems like he isn't gonna win the Olympia unless he brings more size, especially in his lower half, along with the condition that he brought at this year's Arnold. And interestingly, how many of us actually knew that Milos Sarcev he actually helped Andrew in the posing during the peak week before the Arnold? Now shout out to Muscle Discord. He did a very detailed interview with Chris Lewis aka Psycho Fitness, the trainer of Andrew Jacked, and he revealed that Milos was the one who made those posing adjustments in Andrew's physique as well as the mandatories. And if you look at Andrew's routine, at some points, it did reflect some of the poses that Milos used to implement in his routine. Now I have got to say Andrew's side shots, they looked way better at the Arnold with those changes in the posing. So do you guys think Andrew should do a show in the next 3 or 4 weeks and be done with that Olympia qualification? Or should he jump into a bigger show like the Pittsburgh Pro? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.